In the quiet of night, when the world slows and the mind begins to drift, there is a particular wonder that can take hold. The story of humanity, not merely as we know it, but as it might have been. We sit on a tiny blue planet, a speck in the vast, silent cosmos, surrounded by an infinity of stars and galaxies that stretch beyond comprehension. Earth, with its oceans, mountains, and skies, is our cradle, our home, yet it may not be the full story of where we come from. What if in some ancient and distant past, the origins of life, the spark that ignited consciousness, or the very seeds of humanity came not from this world, but from somewhere else in the universe? Such questions do not demand answers. They invite a gentle curiosity, a soft exploration of possibility that can carry the mind on a calm journey across time, space, and imagination. Our story begins with the stars themselves, each one a glowing sun, each a beacon across time, sending light that has traveled millions, even billions, of years to reach our eyes. Among these distant points of brilliance, we glimpse the raw materials of creation, the building blocks of planets, and, possibly, life itself. The cosmic landscape is not chaotic. It is ordered, governed by the principles of physics, chemistry, and the gentle rhythms of celestial motion. In this vastness, it is easy to feel both insignificant and profoundly connected. Humanity, small though we may be, is part of a universe that is remarkably suited to life, a cosmos in which the conditions for existence appear with surprising frequency, hinting that the story of life may not be confined to our own planet. On Earth, life emerges in ways that are delicate, complex, and astonishing. Simple cells evolve, multiply, and adapt, gradually forming the immense variety of life we see today. Every organism, from the tiniest microbe to the largest whale, participates in an intricate web of interdependence, a system balanced between fragility and resilience. Yet even as we trace the lineage of life on our planet, the mind cannot help but wonder. Could these processes have been influenced, guided, or seeded by forces beyond our world? Could the earliest cells, carrying the potential for intelligence and creativity, have arrived not from the oceans of Earth, but from the depths of space? This is not a question of certainty. It is a gentle opening, a way to let the imagination stretch while the mind remains calm and contemplative. The human species, in particular, presents mysteries that inspire both awe and quiet speculation. Our intelligence, creativity, and capacity for abstract thought appear in remarkable leaps. Moments in prehistory where consciousness seems to have expanded rapidly, changing the trajectory of life on this planet. The development of language, tools, art, and culture marks the emergence of a species capable of self-reflection, of understanding the world not only as a landscape to inhabit, but as a canvas upon which to project meaning. While evolution provides explanations rooted in adaptation and survival, there is a poetic curiosity in wondering whether some subtle nudge, perhaps a whisper from the cosmos, helped shape this extraordinary development. Throughout history, humans have looked to the skies for answers. The stars, planets, and the cycles of the moon and sun became guides, markers of time, and objects of reverence. Ancient civilizations built structures aligned with celestial phenomena, developed calendars, and crafted myths to interpret the movements of the heavens. These actions suggest a deep, innate desire to understand not only the world beneath our feet, but the universe above. There is a continuity across cultures and continents, an echo of curiosity that links the Sumerians, Egyptians, Maya, and countless others in a shared fascination with the cosmos. This collective gaze upward invites reflection. If humans have always sought connection with the heavens, might the answers to our origins lie, at least in part, beyond Earth itself? The concept of life beyond our planet is not mere fantasy. Modern astronomy has revealed thousands of exoplanets, some located in the so-called habitable zone, where conditions may allow water to exist in liquid form. Organic molecules, the building blocks of life, have been discovered in comets, asteroids, and interstellar clouds, suggesting that the ingredients for life are widespread throughout the cosmos. This knowledge quietly expands our sense of possibility. Life might not be unique to Earth. The idea of panspermia, the hypothesis that life can travel from one planet to another, provides a scientific framework for imagining that humanity, or the precursors to life itself, could have origins that stretch across the stars. The mind, in this gentle contemplation, can wander through nebulae, past distant suns, and along the spiral arms of galaxies, considering a universe that is at once vast, ordered, and imbued with potential. Human myths and legends often reflect a subtle awareness of this vastness. Across cultures, stories speak of beings descending from the heavens, imparting knowledge, wisdom, or guidance. The Sumerian Anunnaki, the Indian Vimanas, and the gods of Egypt all share a common thread. They suggest encounters with entities or forces beyond ordinary human experience. Whether these stories are symbolic, allegorical, or grounded in actual events, they offer insight into a persistent human curiosity about origins, purpose, and the cosmos. In listening to these myths, the mind can drift gently, tracing the narratives across time, imagining the possibility that humanity's development was shaped, in some measure, by contact with forces that transcended the earthly realm. Our understanding of history and prehistory is itself a tapestry of known facts and tantalizing gaps. Archaeology uncovers cities, tools, and art. Paleontology traces the evolution of species. Genetics maps our shared ancestry. Yet within these frameworks remain puzzles that provoke speculation. Sudden leaps in technology, inexplicable alignments of monuments, and anomalous artifacts invite questions that may never be fully resolved. These gaps are not failures of science. Rather, they are opportunities for reflection, spaces in which the imagination can wander without constraint. They remind us that history is not only a record of what has happened, but also a canvas for wonder, a gentle invitation to consider what might lie just beyond our current understanding. In exploring the possibility that humanity may not have originated solely on Earth, it is essential to balance imagination with reason. The mind can drift through the stars, consider the mysteries of ancient texts, and reflect on anomalies in human evolution, all while remaining grounded in observable reality. This balance creates a calm, immersive experience, ideal for nighttime reflection or sleep-friendly contemplation. The questions themselves, what if humanity didn't come from Earth, are more important than the answers. They allow the mind to engage in a quiet dialogue with the universe, to consider possibilities without the urgency of certainty, and to experience wonder as a companion rather than a destination. The interplay between known science and speculative thought is particularly soothing. We can trace the development of life through fossils and DNA, map the orbits of distant planets, and analyze the chemical composition of stars. Simultaneously, we can imagine the gentle arrival of life from elsewhere, the subtle influence of cosmic forces on evolution, and the guidance of beings whose origins remain a mystery. This duality between the concrete and the imagined, the familiar and the unknown, creates a meditative rhythm. It allows the viewer or listener to float between certainty and possibility, experiencing curiosity without tension, awe without urgency, and reflection without pressure. As this opening section stretches to its close, the stage is set for a journey that will weave through time, space, history, and mystery. Humanity's story, viewed from the vantage of a silent night sky, becomes a narrative both intimate and cosmic. We are grounded in the familiar, the oceans, forests, and skies of Earth, yet lifted by imagination into a universe that is vast, complex, and full of potential. The journey ahead will explore ancient texts, mysterious monuments, unexplained artifacts, genetic puzzles, and cosmic patterns, all inviting the mind to consider the possibility that life, intelligence, and consciousness may have threads that extend far beyond the planet we call home. In this gentle opening, the mind is prepared to move forward, floating effortlessly from one question to the next, tracing the delicate interplay of history, science, and mystery. Each reflection, each pause, each imagined scenario reinforces a sense of calm curiosity, a meditative journey in which the unknown is not threatening but inviting, not confusing but enriching. The universe becomes both a setting and a companion, a quiet expanse against which the story of humanity unfolds, suggesting that perhaps our origins are not only a tale of Earth, but also a story written across the stars. And so, under the soft, unhurried light of imagination, the viewer is invited to begin this journey, to drift across time, through the whispers of ancient civilizations, into the mysteries of our DNA, and onward toward the cosmic possibilities that frame the very question at the heart of this exploration. What if humanity didn't come from Earth? The question, repeated gently in the mind, serves as a soft guide, leading the imagination into realms of history, science, and wonder, creating a foundation for the chapters that follow, and a calm, reflective space in which curiosity can flourish without haste. From the whispers of the cosmos, we gently return to Earth, to the story science tells us about our beginnings. Our planet, teeming with life in all its delicate complexity, has nurtured countless generations of living beings, each evolving in quiet harmony with their environment. Among them, the lineage that would become humanity emerged, shaped by slow, patient processes over millions of years. Fossils reveal a gradual unfolding, from the earliest primates to creatures capable of crafting tools, communicating through gestures, and walking upright under the vast sky. Each fragment of bone, each imprint in ancient sediment, offers a fleeting glimpse into lives long past. And yet, even as we uncover these traces, the full picture remains just out of reach. There is beauty in the known, yes, the skeletal evidence, the intricate patterns of evolution, but also an elegance in the gaps, the unanswered questions that invite gentle speculation. The evolutionary story is one of both persistence and chance. Small adaptations, seemingly insignificant at the moment, ripple through generations, producing remarkable transformations over eons. Our ancestors learned to manipulate their environment, fashioning simple tools from stone, shaping fire to warmth and survival. As Homo sapiens emerged, these abilities became refined, expressions of ingenuity and awareness that hint at something uniquely human. Yet, even as archaeology and paleontology illuminate these milestones, they also highlight the mysteries of sudden leaps. Why did cognitive abilities, symbolic thinking, and language appear with such rapidity in certain populations? How did some groups develop complex societies and monumental architecture long before others? Science provides frameworks, yet the spaces between those frameworks remain quietly mysterious, like gaps in a tapestry where shadows hint at hidden patterns. Within this narrative, genetics offers another layer of revelation. DNA is a chronicle of life, a record of migrations, mutations, and survival across countless generations. It tells of humans spreading across continents, adapting to deserts, tundras, and dense forests alike. It carries evidence of interbreeding with other hominins, reminders that our lineage is not linear, but woven from many strands. Yet, even in this code of life, there are anomalies. Certain traits appear suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere. Some genetic sequences are shared with distant or extinct species, sparking questions about the timing and mechanisms of human development. The genome is both a map and a mystery, offering certainty in some regions and leaving room for wonder in others. It is here, in the quiet pauses of scientific knowledge, that the imagination is invited to roam, tracing possibilities that extend beyond the conventional story of human evolution. Humanity's journey on Earth has been accompanied by an innate desire to understand, to make sense of origins and purpose. Early civilizations, though separated by oceans and continents, shared a common curiosity. They looked to the sky and wondered, where did we come from? Their myths, Oral histories and later written texts preserved observations and speculations, sometimes aligning with the gradual discoveries of modern science. The Nile, the Tigris, the Ganges, all cradles of early civilization, nurtured human ingenuity, providing sustenance and structure, yet also inspiring reflection on forces beyond comprehension. From these fertile grounds arose agriculture, writing, art, and social structures, marking humanity's transformation from scattered tribes into organized societies. Even as evidence anchors us in time, the shadows of uncertainty whisper softly. There were moments when knowledge seemed almost too advanced for its era, leaving us to wonder whether our understanding is truly complete. As we drift through these layers of history, it becomes clear that the story of humanity is not a straight line, but a delicate interplay of known facts and subtle mysteries. Fossils, artifacts, and DNA provide illuminating threads, yet the spaces between them are where curiosity lives. These spaces, silent and patient, beckon us to consider the unexpected, the extraordinary possibilities that might lie just beyond the reach of conventional science. Perhaps the emergence of Homo sapiens was guided by more than natural selection alone. Perhaps certain sparks of intelligence, creativity, or adaptability hint at influences we do not yet fully understand. While remaining grounded in evidence, this perspective does not diminish the awe of evolution. Rather, it magnifies the wonder, suggesting that life itself might be a story with chapters stretching beyond our planet. It is here, in the gentle contemplation of what we know and what we do not, that the mind begins to wander to the edges of possibility. We can picture early humans, standing beneath the same constellations we now admire, sensing the vastness around them while striving to make sense of their small, yet significant existence. Their curiosity mirrors our own, a quiet, persistent desire to explore, to create, and to understand. Each tool they shaped, each shelter they built, each observation they recorded is a testament to a species reaching upward, reaching outward. And in those acts, faint echoes of the universe seem to whisper, reminding us that the story of life is both earthbound and, perhaps, something more. Science, though illuminating, is not a dim light. It is a lantern guiding our understanding. Yet even this light reveals shadows, subtle gaps that invite gentle speculation. The more we uncover, the more we realize the depth of what remains unknown. Why did certain cognitive leaps occur when they did? How do humans develop symbolic art, intricate rituals, and advanced tools seemingly in bursts rather than slow, linear progression? Why do we spread so successfully across the globe while other species faltered? Each answer raises further questions, inviting the viewer to linger in the quiet tension between certainty and mystery. In these reflective pauses, the story of human evolution becomes not merely a record of the past, but a canvas for imagination, where the possibility of extraterrestrial connections or cosmic influence can be considered without urgency or fear. As this section draws to a close, the viewer is encouraged to embrace both the comfort of what science tells us and the gentle wonder of the unknown. Humanity's journey on Earth, though well documented, is filled with shadows that beckon quiet contemplation. The fossils, the tools, the migrations, and the genes, they are pieces of a grand puzzle that, while impressive, is not yet complete. And perhaps it never will be fully complete. In this delicate balance of knowledge and mystery, curiosity becomes a companion, a soft guide into the questions that lie beyond our planet, the questions that will carry us gently into the cosmic possibilities explored in the sections to come. As our story gently shifts from Earth to the cosmos, we begin to see humanity not as an isolated phenomenon, but as part of a vast, intricate universe. The stars, distant yet constant, serve as reminders of both our minuteness and our potential. In the soft darkness of the night, the mind wanders across the endless stretches of space, imagining worlds beyond our own. Science tells us that our solar system is but one of billions within the Milky Way galaxy, and the Milky Way itself is only one among countless galaxies in the observable universe. The immensity is almost impossible to comprehend, yet it also holds a certain tranquility, a quiet reminder that the story of life may be more expansive than we have ever dared to imagine. Within this vast expanse, the conditions for life emerge as both specific and fragile. Water, carbon, and energy sources create a delicate balance, nurturing life where circumstances allow. On Earth, these conditions have combined to produce the extraordinary diversity we witness today. But the universe, with its countless stars and planets, suggests that similar conditions might exist elsewhere. Planets orbiting distant suns, known as exoplanets, hint at the possibility of environments where life could flourish under circumstances alien to our understanding. Some may be scorched by intense heat, others cloaked in ice, yet each represents a potential cradle for life. Contemplating these worlds, we begin to sense that the narrative of life might not be unique to our blue planet. Humanity's fascination with the heavens is ancient. Early observers noted the regular movements of planets and stars, crafting myths and calendars to interpret the cosmos. The constellations, with their imagined forms, became a canvas on which humans projected stories of gods, heroes, and creation itself. Across cultures, there emerges a shared impulse to look upward, to seek understanding, to question origins. It is this impulse that bridges our earthly evolution with the mysteries of the universe, reminding us that curiosity is not bound by geography or time. We are part of a species that reaches outward, drawn not only to the land beneath our feet, but to the skies above, whispering the same questions our ancestors once asked. Where did we come from, and are we alone? Modern science continues this journey, blending observation with imagination. Astronomers detect planets orbiting distant stars, some within the so-called habitable zone, where conditions might allow liquid water to exist. Telescopes capture light that has traveled across millennia, offering glimpses of stellar nurseries, cosmic collisions, and the remnants of ancient supernovae. Each discovery expands the realm of possibility, illuminating the known while emphasizing the vast unknown. The contrasts are striking. We can measure the temperature of a star millions of light years away with precision, yet we remain uncertain whether life exists just beyond our vision. In this delicate interplay of knowledge and mystery, the mind finds a comfortable tension, ideal for reflection and quiet curiosity. The concept of life beyond Earth is not merely speculative. It has a grounding in both chemistry and physics. Organic molecules, the building blocks of life, have been found on comets and within interstellar clouds. These discoveries hint that the raw ingredients for life are not confined to Earth, but are scattered throughout the cosmos. In quiet contemplation, it is possible to imagine that life might emerge wherever conditions allow, on a distant exoplanet, beneath the icy crust of a moon, or perhaps even on a rogue planet drifting through interstellar space. Such thoughts do not demand certainty. They invite a gentle sense of wonder, a way to expand the imagination while embracing the calm rhythm of reflection. In this cosmic context, Earth itself becomes both familiar and extraordinary. The planet we call home is a rare convergence of favorable conditions: gravity that binds oceans and atmosphere, a magnetic field that shields life from cosmic radiation, and a dynamic climate that allows ecosystems to flourish. Yet Earth is also fragile, a reminder that life is contingent, dependent on a delicate balance that could be disrupted in countless ways. Observing the vastness beyond, we perceive both security and vulnerability, and the mind begins to entertain the humbling possibility that humanity's story might be part of a larger cosmic pattern, a pattern that extends far beyond the continents, forests, and oceans we know so intimately. The cosmos also invites philosophical reflection. If life is possible elsewhere, what does that imply for our understanding of consciousness, intelligence, and the essence of being? Are we merely one expression of a universal process, or is humanity unique in ways we cannot yet fathom? These questions do not need immediate answers. Rather, they serve as companions for quiet thought. In imagining other worlds and the potential forms of life they might harbor, we cultivate a sense of humility and awe. The universe, vast and silent, offers a mirror for introspection, allowing us to consider not only where we come from, but also how we relate to the greater whole. It is within this gentle space between knowledge and mystery that the narrative of humanity begins to stretch beyond Earth. Here, science, imagination, and quiet contemplation converge, revealing a delicate interplay between what is known and what is possible. The stars above, distant yet constant, remind us that the story of life might not be confined to a single planet, that the origins of consciousness and the spark of intelligence may be threads in a tapestry that spans light years. In the soft stillness of the night, we can envision life arriving on Earth from other worlds, or humanity someday reaching out to touch distant stars. The contrast between certainty and speculation, between the tangible and the unseen, create a calm tension that carries the mind gently forward, encouraging curiosity without urgency. As this section draws to a close, we begin to sense that humanity's story is both deeply rooted and expansively connected. The Earth nurtured our beginnings, yet the universe offers possibilities that stretch the imagination. The quiet contemplation of distant worlds, the knowledge that organic molecules drift through interstellar space, and the realization that life may not be unique to our planet all converge to deepen a sense of wonder. The mind drifts naturally from the documented history of our species to the cosmic stage on which life might exist, preparing to explore the mysteries that ancient texts, myths, and anomalies will reveal in the next stage of our journey. In this seamless transition, curiosity becomes a gentle guide, leading the viewer from the familiarity of Earth into the tantalizing expanse of the universe. As our gaze drifts from the cosmos back toward Earth, we find ourselves wandering through the corridors of human memory, through the echoes of stories long told and texts long preserved. Across continents and centuries, humans have sought to understand their place in the world, to explain what they observed in the sky, the land, and the seas. Ancient civilizations, from the fertile valleys of the Nile to the highlands of Mesopotamia, from the sun-drenched pyramids of Mesoamerica to the forests of Asia, left behind more than structures and tools. They left whispers of thought, fragments of imagination that hint at questions humanity has always carried. Among these fragments, we glimpse the timeless curiosity that compels us to ask, could there have been forces beyond our understanding that shaped our earliest civilizations? Could life, knowledge, and inspiration have arrived from places not of this earth? In these ancient texts, myths, and legends, we encounter beings who descend from the heavens, messengers or deities who bring gifts of wisdom, agriculture, and societal order. The Sumerian tablets speak of gods who walked among humans, imparting laws and knowledge. The pyramids of Egypt, shrouded in mystery, seem to whisper secrets about alignment with the stars and an understanding of astronomy far ahead of their time. In the epics of the Maya and the Aztecs, celestial beings appear as creators, as teachers, and sometimes as enigmatic visitors whose purpose is only partly understood. These stories, though veiled in metaphor and ritual, suggest a collective human consciousness captivated by forces beyond immediate perception, forces that some might interpret as the footprints of beings from the stars. What makes these ancient accounts particularly intriguing is the consistency of certain motifs across disparate cultures. Civilizations separated by oceans and mountains often share stories of sky-born teachers, creators, or travelers who intervene in human affairs. The resemblance is subtle. A recurring figure who imparts knowledge, a skybound craft, a gift of fire or agriculture, but it forms a pattern that quietly invites speculation. Did these shared narratives arise purely from human imagination and universal archetypes, or could they reflect experiences, encounters, or observations that have been passed down through generations in the guise of myth? The text of human history is rich with detail, yet it is in the margins, in these soft, unexplained motifs, that the shadows of mystery dwell. As we study these ancient whispers, we are reminded that knowledge, in its earliest forms, was both practical and symbolic. Early humans observed the heavens not merely for navigation, but for guidance, for understanding cycles of planting and harvest, for contemplating existence itself. Stars were not just points of light, but beacons, markers of time and destiny. The precise alignments of structures like Stonehenge, the Egyptian pyramids, or the observatories of the Maya suggest a meticulous attention to the sky that surpasses what might be expected from civilizations without modern instruments. While some argue that these feats can be explained through ingenuity alone, the possibility of inspiration from unknown sources lingers in the mind, a gentle nudge toward curiosity. In these contemplations, it is essential to balance wonder with reason. Skepticism is a companion to imagination, guiding the mind to consider alternative explanations without diminishing the marvels themselves. Perhaps these ancient texts and monuments reflect extraordinary human creativity, or perhaps they hint at encounters that modern science has yet to fully comprehend. The beauty lies not in immediate answers, but in the quiet, meditative space between evidence and imagination. Here, the viewer can drift through the corridors of history, letting the mind linger on the unseen, the unexplained, the quietly persistent questions that have stirred human thought for millennia. The echoes of these ancient whispers also encourage reflection on the universality of human curiosity. Regardless of geography or era, humans have always looked upward, seeking patterns in the stars, wondering about their origin, and imagining worlds beyond the horizon. These shared impulses link us across time, suggesting that curiosity itself may be one of humanity's most enduring traits. In this light, myths and texts are not merely stories of gods or visitors. They are records of human wonder, of minds reaching outward, attempting to grasp the infinite. And in reaching outward, humans have also always questioned inward, pondering the origins of their own existence in ways that remain remarkably resonant even today. It is in the interplay between these ancient texts and modern science that the mind finds a quiet tension. Archaeology provides tangible evidence of human achievement, while literature, myth, and legend offer insight into imagination, belief, and perhaps lost knowledge. The convergence of these threads invites a reflective mood, one in which viewers can appreciate both the achievements of our ancestors and the subtle mysteries they may have encountered. The sensation is akin to walking through a dimly lit hall of echoes, where each artifact, each inscription, each story offers a glimpse of light, yet shadows stretch between them, hinting at stories still hidden. These reflections naturally lead to consideration of what has been lost or forgotten over millennia. Countless civilizations, languages, and stories have vanished, leaving behind only fragments for us to interpret. The idea that knowledge might have been partially hidden, misinterpreted, or preserved in metaphorical form adds an element of quiet wonder. What might the ancestors have observed in the sky, in the stars, or in their surroundings that prompted them to tell these stories? Were they recounting literal events, symbolic lessons, or encounters that modern eyes struggle to comprehend? In contemplating these questions, we are invited to walk softly along the line between fact and mystery, to listen to the subtle whispers of the past without needing to resolve them fully. In this gentle exploration, the viewer is encouraged to embrace both curiosity and calm reflection. The ancient texts and legends do not demand belief. They merely offer the possibility that the story of humanity is richer and more complex than a linear, earthbound narrative might suggest. They invite us to consider that perhaps inspiration, knowledge, or even life itself could have connections beyond our planet, that the origins of human culture might intertwine with cosmic influences in ways that remain largely hidden. In the quiet contemplation of these possibilities, the mind can drift freely, absorbing the interplay of known history, myth, and unexplained phenomena without urgency or pressure. As this section draws to a close, the stage is set for the journey ahead. The viewer has wandered through ancient civilizations, heard the whispers of texts and legends, and glimpsed the persistent curiosity that defines humanity. The balance of light and shadow, knowledge and mystery, prepares the mind to explore more speculative ideas, from the notion of ancient visitors to the mysteries of extraordinary structures and anomalies that have puzzled historians and scientists alike. The quiet tension between the tangible and the unknown carries forward, leading naturally into the next phase of exploration, where the boundaries between human history and cosmic possibility will begin to blur, inviting the imagination to drift gently across time and space. As we move from the subtle whispers of ancient texts to more speculative horizons, a gentle question emerges. What if some of the extraordinary leaps in human history were influenced by forces beyond our immediate understanding? The ancient astronaut hypothesis proposes that humanity may have been guided, inspired, or even seeded by beings from other worlds. It is a notion that hovers delicately between science, mythology, and imagination, inviting reflection rather than demanding belief. In this quiet space, the mind can wander freely, considering possibilities that stretch beyond the familiar boundaries of earthbound history. The hypothesis does not diminish human achievement. Rather, it frames it within a larger cosmic context, suggesting that perhaps our ancestors, while brilliant and resourceful, may have occasionally glimpsed truths too vast for a single human lifetime to fully comprehend. Throughout the ages, stories emerge that speak of beings descending from the sky, bringing knowledge, tools, or guidance. From the Anunnaki in Sumerian tablets to the Vimanas described in ancient Indian epics, these accounts share intriguing similarities. Beings of extraordinary capability, often associated with celestial crafts or advanced understanding, appearing among humans in moments of cultural or technological transformation. Some texts describe them as teachers, imparting skills of agriculture, astronomy, mathematics, and architecture. In quieter moments of reflection, it is compelling to imagine how such narratives might be rooted not merely in myth, but in human encounters with phenomena so unusual that they could only be described as divine, extraterrestrial, or otherworldly. Archaeological and architectural wonders further fuel this contemplation. Monuments like the Egyptian pyramids, the megaliths of Stonehenge, and the intricate Nazca lines of Peru display levels of precision and understanding that continue to provoke awe and curiosity. The placement of massive stones, alignment with celestial events, and execution of geometrical patterns with extraordinary accuracy suggest knowledge of mathematics and astronomy that seems surprisingly advanced for their times. While conventional archaeology offers explanations rooted in human ingenuity, the ancient astronaut hypothesis gently asks the viewer to consider whether some inspiration, or perhaps even instruction, could have originated from beyond Earth. The suggestion is not of replacing human effort, but of imagining that humanity might have glimpsed guidance from a greater cosmic narrative. It is important to approach these ideas with a balance of curiosity and skepticism, allowing the mind to explore possibilities without abandoning reason. Many scientists and historians argue that humans, with ingenuity and determination, could indeed achieve these feats unaided. And yet, the human mind cannot help but notice patterns that seem too precise, leaps that seem too sudden, and knowledge that appears to predate conventional explanations. The gentle tension between the known and the unknown, between the ordinary and the extraordinary, forms the heartbeat of the ancient astronaut hypothesis. It does not offer certainty, but it offers a space for quiet reflection, a room in which to imagine the universe as more intertwined with human history than we have previously considered. Artifacts and symbols also draw the mind into contemplation. Statues, carvings, and murals depicting figures with helmets, wings, or other unusual adornments evoke the image of visitors not entirely human. Some tablets, and stone reliefs appear to show flying machines or celestial craft, though interpretations vary widely. Again, the approach is not to assert claims, but to linger in wonder. What might these images have represented to those who created them? Were they symbolic, metaphorical, religious, or literal reflections of phenomena observed in the sky? The beauty of the question lies not in arriving at an answer, but in allowing the mind to explore possibilities, drifting among historical traces and the shadows that surround them. Even linguistic evidence adds a subtle layer of intrigue. Across distant civilizations, words, concepts, or myths bear resemblances that some researchers interpret as echoes of shared knowledge, perhaps transmitted through encounters with beings from the stars. The notion that humans may have preserved fragments of information through ritual, story, and language suggests a continuity that stretches beyond mere coincidence. Again, this is not an assertion of fact, but an invitation to quiet reflection, encouraging the viewer to consider the ways in which human consciousness and creativity might have been shaped, in part, by influences not entirely of this earth. One of the most compelling aspects of this hypothesis is how it frames human potential in a cosmic context. If intelligence and curiosity were nudged, inspired, or seeded from beyond, it does not lessen our achievements. It elevates them. The capacity for innovation, art, and science could then be seen as part of a grander story, a story in which humanity is both earthbound and cosmically connected. The mind, contemplating this notion, experiences a gentle awe, realizing that perhaps our reach into the stars is a continuation of an influence that began long ago. Civilization, in this light, becomes a dialogue between humanity and the cosmos, an ongoing conversation in which the silent guidance of distant worlds is whispered through time. Scientific plausibility also finds a place within this framework. Advances in genetics, astrobiology, and cosmology suggest that life can travel across space, that planets may harbor conditions conducive to life, and that the building blocks of biology are not unique to Earth. While this does not prove the ancient astronaut hypothesis, it creates a space in which it becomes conceivable. The narrative, delivered in soft, immersive tones, allows the viewer to consider the possibility without pressure, to linger in the calm tension between scientific understanding and imaginative exploration. The universe, vast and indifferent, seems both a cradle and a guide, offering humanity both shelter and inspiration. Ultimately, the ancient astronaut hypothesis is as much a meditation as it is a theory. It encourages reflection on the interplay between human achievement, mystery, and the cosmos. The monuments, artifacts, myths, and anomalies of the past are not merely evidence to be scrutinized. They are invitations to wonder, to let the imagination drift along the paths of possibility. By considering that some sparks of knowledge, creativity, or cultural advancement may have come from beyond Earth, we are reminded of the vast potential within humanity and the subtle ways the universe may have shaped our journey. It is a quiet, poetic framing of history that balances awe with restraint, ensuring that the mind can explore without being overwhelmed. As this contemplation closes, the viewer is left in a space of gentle curiosity. The ancient astronaut hypothesis does not demand certainty, nor does it replace the rich tapestry of human ingenuity. Instead, it enhances it, offering a lens through which history, science, and myth can coexist in harmony. Humanity's story, seen through this lens, becomes both familiar and extraordinary, grounded yet expansive, tangible yet mysterious. And in this quiet balance, the mind is prepared to move forward, to explore the monuments, genetics, and cosmic possibilities that continue to shape our understanding of who we are, where we come from, and what might lie beyond the familiar horizon of Earth. As we continue our journey from speculation toward the tangible, the mind is drawn to the silent witnesses of human history, the monuments, structures, and landscapes that endure across millennia. These creations, etched into stone and earth, serve as both records and enigmas, reminders of human ingenuity while quietly hinting at mysteries that remain unresolved. From the soaring pyramids of Egypt to the massive stone circles of Stonehenge, from the intricate Nazca lines etched upon the desert floor to the carefully aligned temples of Mesoamerica, each monument is a testament to the creativity and determination of civilizations long past. Yet, in their precise construction, their alignment with celestial phenomena, and their sheer scale, these structures invite questions that linger gently at the edges of understanding. How did humans, with the tools and knowledge available at the time, accomplish feats that continue to inspire awe today? The pyramids, for example, rise from the sands of Egypt with geometric perfection, aligned almost flawlessly with the cardinal points and, some scholars suggest, with specific stars in the night sky. The precision required for such alignment, combined with the massive effort to transport and arrange millions of stones, continues to spark fascination. Conventional explanations point to human ingenuity, labor organization, and simple tools used with extraordinary skill. Yet, even the most carefully constructed theories leave a subtle gap, a whisper of wonder, inviting us to consider whether inspiration or guidance may have come from sources beyond ordinary experience. As we imagine the ancient builders, working under the relentless sun, each stone placed with care and intention, it becomes easy to sense that these monuments were more than functional structures. They were a dialogue with the heavens, an expression of humanity's longing to connect with something greater. Stonehenge, perched upon the rolling plains of England, offers another quiet enigma. The massive sarsen stones, some weighing dozens of tons, were transported from distant locations, their arrangement carefully calibrated to mark solstices and celestial events. Archaeologists have studied the site extensively, uncovering evidence of rituals, burials, and astronomical alignments. The stones themselves, silent and imposing, seem to carry knowledge that predates recorded history. The question is not only how they were moved and arranged, but why such care was taken to mirror the movements of the sky. Was this purely an expression of human ingenuity and ritual, or could there have been an external influence, a spark of insight whispered from beyond? In contemplating Stonehenge, the mind drifts into quiet speculation, embracing the tension between known skill and mysterious inspiration. Across oceans and continents, the Nazca lines of Peru present a different, yet equally compelling, mystery. Vast geometric shapes, intricate animal figures, and enigmatic lines stretch across the desert floor, visible fully only from the sky. The purpose of these markings has long been debated. Were they ceremonial paths, astronomical calendars, or symbolic messages to deities? The sheer scale, precision, and visibility of the lines suggest a knowledge of perspective and measurement that is astonishing for a society without aerial observation. The mind is invited to wonder at the possibility that these figures were created with guidance, observation, or inspiration that exceeded conventional human experience, perhaps echoing distant knowledge carried by travelers from afar or by visions shared through generations. Mesoamerican civilizations also offer profound examples of architectural and astronomical mastery. The pyramids and observatories of the Maya, for instance, were carefully aligned with celestial events, including solstices, equinoxes, and the cycles of Venus. Temples were not merely spaces for worship. They were cosmic instruments, measuring time and linking human life with the rhythms of the heavens. The alignment of architecture and the sophistication of astronomical knowledge invite contemplation of the sources of such insight. Were the architects and priests entirely self-taught through observation and ingenuity, or could there have been external knowledge, passed through encounters or inspiration from forces beyond Earth? The question does not diminish their accomplishments, but enhances the sense of wonder, positioning humanity within a cosmic dialogue that stretches across both time and space. The common thread among these monuments is the careful attention to alignment, geometry, and observation. Across different continents, cultures, and time periods, humans developed methods to measure the cosmos, align their constructions with celestial bodies, and encode knowledge in stone. The similarities provoke reflection. Is it purely coincidence, or could there be a shared source of insight, subtle and mysterious, guiding civilizations in parallel? These monuments become a bridge between the known and the unknown, the practical and the extraordinary, offering a space for quiet contemplation where history, science, and imagination intertwine. The mind is invited to wander across deserts, plains, and river valleys, tracing the silent lines of stone and earth, pondering the mysteries left behind by hands that have long since turned to dust. Even the most pragmatic explanations carry an element of awe. Transporting massive stones without modern machinery, constructing structures that have withstood earthquakes, wind, and centuries of erosion, and integrating astronomical knowledge into architecture. All of this speaks to a human capacity for ingenuity that borders on the sublime. Yet, the monuments themselves seem to whisper questions. What drove these civilizations to such precision? Was it purely necessity, or was there a desire to reach beyond, to touch the heavens, to leave messages for those who would come after? The gentle speculation that they might have received inspiration from something or someone beyond our world adds an extra layer of mystery, enhancing the calm, reflective tone ideal for a sleep-friendly journey through history. In exploring these monuments, the mind begins to notice patterns, contrasts, and subtle cues. The known, the materials, the labor, the astronomical observations, is balanced against the unknown, the inspiration, the methods, the possible influences beyond human reach. The contrast between the tangible achievements of civilizations and the lingering mysteries that surround them evokes a gentle tension, encouraging curiosity while maintaining a sense of calm. The monuments stand not only as historical markers, but as invitations to reflect on humanity's enduring desire to connect with the cosmos, to understand its place in the grand tapestry of existence. This contemplation naturally leads to the idea that perhaps humanity has always been aware, in some sense, of forces larger than itself. The monuments serve as both evidence of practical achievement and symbols of aspiration, bridging the earth and the heavens. They suggest a quiet, persistent awareness that human life is part of a broader story, a narrative that might stretch beyond the boundaries of our planet. In the soft reflection inspired by these structures, the viewer is gently guided to consider possibilities that blend science, imagination, and cosmic wonder, creating a meditative space in which the mind can roam freely without pressure or urgency. As this section comes to a close, the monuments stand in silent testimony. They're the points of contact between human skill and the vast mysteries that lie beyond. They remind us that the pursuit of understanding, the desire to reach the heavens, and the expression of ingenuity are constants in the human story. And yet, even in their enduring presence, they leave gaps, inviting the imagination to fill in the spaces with quiet speculation about guidance, influence, or inspiration that may have come from worlds beyond our own. The mind is left in a state of calm curiosity, ready to move forward into the next chapter. The hidden puzzles encoded in our very DNA, the subtle hints in the human genome that may whisper of cosmic connections, awaiting exploration. As the mind drifts gently from the monuments etched into stone to the very essence of our being, we encounter another profound landscape, the human genome. Within the delicate spirals of DNA lies a story as intricate as the monuments of the past, as vast as the cosmos itself. The genome carries not only instructions for our physical form, but subtle hints about our history, migrations, and evolutionary leaps. Every sequence of nucleotides is a letter in a book that spans millennia, chronicling survival, adaptation, and occasional mysteries that resist easy explanation. In these quiet, hidden corridors of biology, we begin to sense that the story of humanity may hold whispers of something beyond Earth, something cosmic that shaped not only our bodies, but perhaps the very spark of consciousness itself. The human genome reveals both remarkable continuity and unexpected anomalies. Most of our DNA follows patterns that trace back to ancestral species, linking us to primates and other forms of life on this planet. Yet, within these patterns exist sequences that are puzzling, difficult to reconcile with linear evolution alone. Some genes appear abruptly in the evolutionary record, their origins mysterious, their purpose enigmatic. While conventional biology provides explanations, mutation, natural selection, or genetic drift, the anomalies invite deeper contemplation. What if these sequences were influenced, subtly shaped by external factors, by events or forces not entirely of Earth? The idea does not negate evolutionary theory. It simply opens the door to possibilities that the mind can explore softly, with wonder rather than urgency. Throughout history, humans have observed themselves and questioned their origins, often turning to myths, stories, and symbols to make sense of the inexplicable. Modern genetics, in a sense, continues this age-old inquiry, offering new tools to decipher the story written within us. Studies of human variation, interbreeding with Neanderthals and Denisovans, and the discovery of rare genetic markers provide a glimpse into a complex past that is still unfolding. The genome acts as a bridge, linking the tangible record of human achievement, monuments, texts, and artifacts, with the intangible mysteries of life itself. In the soft glow of this reflection, it is easy to imagine that the code within us may carry echoes of events far beyond the confines of Earth. Some geneticists have noted sequences that seem to appear without clear evolutionary antecedents, fragments of code that resist explanation. While the scientific community continues to debate their origins, the presence of these anomalies evokes a gentle curiosity. Could they be remnants of ancient experiments, subtle insertions that hint at external influence, or traces of life traveling across the cosmos before settling on Earth? These questions do not require immediate answers. Rather, they encourage a meditative exploration of possibility. In the quiet contemplation of these genetic mysteries, the viewer is invited to drift alongside the narrative, considering that the blueprint of life itself may contain subtle fingerprints of cosmic history. Beyond anomalies, the genome reveals patterns that suggest a resilience and adaptability rarely matched elsewhere in nature. Humans possess the ability to survive in extreme environments, from frozen tundras to arid deserts, demonstrating flexibility that seems almost preordained. Could this adaptability be entirely the product of random mutation and natural selection? Or might there have been guiding influences, subtle nudges embedded in our code to enhance survival, intelligence, and creativity? It is a question that need not be answered definitively. The value lies in the contemplation itself, in the sense of wonder it instills. In this gentle inquiry, the genome becomes more than a biological blueprint. It becomes a mirror reflecting the vast potential and mystery of human existence. The interplay between genetics and consciousness adds another layer of reflection. DNA not only constructs our physical form, but also influences the development of the brain, cognition, and awareness. Certain leaps in human cognitive ability, the emergence of language, art, and abstract thought, occurred with surprising speed in evolutionary terms. While science offers explanations rooted in adaptation and environment, the pace of these developments sometimes invites speculation about influences beyond the ordinary. Could there have been external factors, cosmic events, subtle guidance, or previously unrecognized environmental influences that shaped the emergence of higher intelligence? In considering this, the mind enters a space of calm curiosity, exploring possibilities without judgment or urgency, drifting softly through the vastness of time and space. The genome also carries traces of interconnection with other hominins, a reminder that humanity has never evolved in isolation. The mingling of genetic material for Neanderthals and Denisovans adds depth to our understanding, revealing a complex web of life that predates recorded history. These exchanges hint at the fluidity and openness of life, the way genes can travel and merge across populations and generations. When viewed through a cosmic lens, it is conceivable that life itself may have traveled across worlds, subtly influencing the trajectory of evolution on Earth. In this meditation, the mind is free to imagine the gentle interplay between earthly evolution and the vast potential of the universe, embracing mystery as a companion rather than a problem to be solved. Even the smallest elements of our genetic code, the regulatory sequences, the non-coding DNA, sometimes dismissed as junk, invite quiet wonder. These regions, once thought to have no function, are now known to play crucial roles in gene expression, development, and adaptation. Their subtle, almost invisible influence on the unfolding of life echoes the broader theme of hidden guidance, quiet forces shaping outcomes in ways that are both profound and gentle. In contemplating these patterns, the viewer may sense that life is a delicate symphony, orchestrated by both visible and unseen elements, a balance of order and mystery that mirrors the silent wonders of the cosmos itself. Ultimately, the study of genetics does not provide definitive answers about humanity's possible cosmic origins, but it opens a space for reflection that is both profound and serene. The genome is a living record, carrying echoes of the past, traces of interaction, and the potential for future adaptation. In this quiet contemplation, viewers can consider the possibility that life is more interconnected with the universe than commonly assumed, that the spark of consciousness and the blueprint of life may hold subtle hints of a story that extends beyond Earth. The experience is less about conclusions and more about immersion, a gentle journey into the invisible patterns that shape who we are. As this section draws to a close, the viewer is left in a meditative space, balancing knowledge with wonder. The monuments of history, the myths of ancient civilizations, and the mysteries encoded within our DNA together form a tapestry of human experience that stretches across time, space, and imagination. The contrasts between the known and the unknown, the tangible and the speculative, create a soft tension that keeps curiosity alive while maintaining a calm, sleep-friendly rhythm. Humanity's code, intricate and mysterious, becomes a bridge to the next exploration. The subtle anomalies of the natural world, the unsolved mysteries and artifacts that continue to challenge our understanding, and the quiet suggestion that the story of life may be far more expansive than the history of Earth alone. As we leave the intimate blueprint of our DNA behind, the mind drifts back toward the physical traces left by our ancestors, traces that both illuminate and confound. Across the globe, countless artifacts defy simple explanation, objects that seem to carry knowledge, skill, or purpose beyond what might be expected for their time. These items, sometimes small and delicate, sometimes large and imposing, sit silently in museums, deserts, or buried beneath layers of earth, inviting quiet contemplation. They are remnants of civilizations, yet their mysteries hint at influences that stretch beyond conventional understanding, as if whispering to us from another world or time. In exploring them, the viewer is encouraged to balance wonder with reflection, allowing the mind to wander along the delicate line between history and speculation. Consider the Antikythera mechanism, a device recovered from the depths of the Aegean Sea, its intricate gears and precise construction astonishing for a civilization thought to be limited to simpler mechanical knowledge. Scholars have called it the first analog computer, capable of predicting astronomical positions, eclipses, and cycles with remarkable accuracy. Its existence challenges assumptions about the technological capabilities of ancient Greece, raising questions about the transmission of knowledge and the potential sources of such sophistication. Was it purely the product of human ingenuity, or might it represent a spark of inspiration from sources beyond Earth, an encounter with ideas or understanding that we have yet to fully trace? The mechanism stands as a quiet testament to the interplay of skill, curiosity, and mystery, inviting us to linger in reflection. Across the continents, similar enigmas emerge. In South America, the precision-cut stones of Sacsayhuaman in Peru, fitted together without mortar and with astonishing exactness, have withstood centuries of earthquakes and environmental changes. The craftsmanship and understanding required to move and align these massive blocks provoke quiet awe. Archaeologists and engineers study the site for clues, yet questions remain. How were these stones transported and fitted so flawlessly? How did these civilizations develop such advanced techniques in isolation? While traditional explanations focus on ingenuity and trial, the subtle anomalies embedded in these constructions inspire speculation about influences that may have stretched beyond ordinary human experience. Even smaller artifacts provoke contemplation. Tiny objects with precise carvings, miniature tools, or intricate jewelry hint at a level of skill and knowledge that suggests both patience and sophistication. In many cases, these items predate established technological developments, leading some researchers to wonder whether knowledge may have been shared, passed down, or inspired by sources not fully accounted for in conventional history. The patterns are subtle and scattered, yet they accumulate into a quiet, persistent suggestion that humanity's story is threaded with mysteries, waiting patiently for reflection and imagination to meet evidence. The mysterious stone spheres of Costa Rica, perfectly round and varying in size from a few centimeters to over 2 meters, present another puzzle. Their purpose and method of creation remain uncertain, yet they reveal an astonishing attention to geometry and symmetry. Were they symbolic, ceremonial, or practical? And how did the societies that created them achieve such precision? These spheres, like other enigmatic artifacts, invite gentle speculation, encouraging the viewer to consider that some knowledge or inspiration may have arrived from unexpected sources, subtle hints of influence that have yet to be fully understood. In the deserts of Egypt and Mesopotamia, artifacts emerge that blend artistry with functionality, often depicting figures, objects, or patterns that challenge easy interpretation. Some carvings seem to portray tools or devices resembling modern technology, while others depict beings or objects associated with the heavens. Interpretations vary widely, and mainstream scholarship often provides conventional explanations, but the quiet anomalies embedded in these artifacts create spaces for contemplation. The mind, encouraged by soft reflection, can imagine a narrative in which humanity occasionally glimpsed something extraordinary, encounters or inspirations that nudge civilization forward in subtle yet profound ways. The juxtaposition of ordinary and extraordinary artifacts is particularly compelling. Everyday tools, pottery, and clothing sit alongside objects that defy expectations, creating a rhythm of contrast between what is familiar and what remains mysterious. This balance mirrors the natural rhythms of curiosity, allowing the viewer to remain grounded while exploring the unknown. Each artifact, whether monumental or minuscule, becomes a point of reflection, a gentle prompt to consider the breadth of human capability, the persistence of mystery, and the possibility that life and knowledge may have threads that extend beyond Earth. The study of unexplained artifacts is as much about process as it is about discovery. Archaeologists and historians sift through layers of Earth, cataloging and analyzing, while the imagination traces lines across time, space, and possibility. The process is meditative, emphasizing careful observation and reflection, inviting viewers to consider not only what these objects tell us, but also what they do not. The gaps between understanding and mystery are where wonder resides, a calm space in which the mind can drift without urgency, allowing curiosity to gently awaken. Many of these artifacts share another subtle quality, their enduring presence. Despite centuries, millennia, or even the forces of nature, they remain. They persist through earthquakes, floods, and the relentless passage of time, standing as silent witnesses to the ingenuity and mystery of humanity. This endurance enhances their enigmatic power, suggesting that the knowledge they embody, whether practical, symbolic, or cosmic, was intended to survive, to whisper across generations, perhaps to awaken a quiet recognition of something larger than ourselves. In this way, artifacts become bridges between the tangible past and the infinite possibilities of a universe. Ultimately, the exploration of unexplained artifacts encourages a gentle balance between skepticism and imagination. The mind is invited to consider conventional explanations, to appreciate human skill, creativity, and perseverance, while also entertaining the possibility that some influences may have arrived from beyond ordinary experience. It is not necessary to decide, to conclude, or to solve the mystery. The value lies in reflection, in allowing the mind to wander across the landscapes of history and imagination, considering the subtle interplay between earthly achievement and cosmic possibility. As this section closes, the viewer is left with a sense of calm curiosity. The artifacts, monumental and minute, simple and intricate, serve as reminders that the story of humanity is layered, complex, and filled with whispers of the unknown. The contrast between the known and the unexplained, the tangible and the mysterious, create a rhythm of reflection, perfectly suited to gentle contemplation. Humanity's journey, seen through these physical traces, becomes both familiar and extraordinary, a narrative that invites the mind to drift forward, softly, into the next exploration. The delicate balance of ancient knowledge, myth, and cosmic patterns that continue to suggest that humanity's origins may reach far beyond the boundaries of Earth itself. Ancient civilizations often leave behind whispers of their existence, traces of bustling cities, enigmatic structures, and fragments of culture that hint at sophistication far beyond what we imagine for their time. Some of these societies, like the Indus Valley Civilization, the Olmecs, and the builders of Göbekli Tepe, vanished long before modern history could record their stories, leaving behind monumental puzzles for those who came after. Their cities were meticulously planned, with evidence of advanced engineering, intricate drainage systems, and signs of social organization that suggest a depth of knowledge and understanding unusual for their era. The silence they left behind is almost tangible, a quiet contrast to the lives that once teemed there. Walking through the ruins of these ancient societies, or imagining their long-lost streets and temples, invites a reflection on the ephemeral nature of human achievement and the fragile thread that connects civilizations across time. Göbekli Tepe, for example, predates the pyramids of Egypt by thousands of years, a monumental testament to early human ingenuity. Its massive stone pillars, engraved with mysterious symbols and animal motifs, hint at knowledge of the cosmos, ritual, and perhaps even mathematics. The care with which these structures were designed and erected suggests a people with both purpose and understanding, yet their disappearance remains one of history's great enigmas. Were these civilizations the product of human ingenuity alone, or could there have been outside influences, subtle sparks of knowledge lost to time? Such questions linger quietly, unresolved, inviting the listener to drift into contemplation. Similarly, the Olmec civilization of Mesoamerica, known for colossal stone heads carved with precise detail, provides a window into a culture capable of impressive artistry and organization. The origins of their techniques, the sourcing of materials, and the societal structure that enabled such feats remain partially mysterious. Their creations provoke gentle wonder, not just for their size and craftsmanship, but for the human story that has been partially erased by time. In the quiet contemplation of these remnants, one begins to sense a deeper narrative, a possible lineage of knowledge, culture, or even subtle hints of influence that connect disparate civilizations across the globe. The Indus Valley Civilization, stretching across what is now modern-day Pakistan and India, offers another example of sophisticated urban life. Cities like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa reveal grids, organized streets, and advanced sewage systems that rival some modern cities. And yet, despite their complexity, much of their written language remains undeciphered, leaving their thoughts, philosophies, and daily lives shrouded in silence. This absence of clarity creates a gentle tension in the imagination, a quiet pull toward the unknown. Listeners can picture a thriving society, markets, homes, and temples, now muted by the passage of millennia, and in that quietness, a sense of both loss and mystery. Across these forgotten civilizations, patterns emerge that intrigue scholars and dreamers alike. Monumental architecture, knowledge of astronomy, and cultural sophistication appear again and again, sometimes in isolation, sometimes seemingly connected across continents and millennia. The contrast between what we can reconstruct and what remains unknowable creates a space for imagination. Perhaps these echoes of the past suggest not only the resilience of human curiosity, but also hint at subtle mysteries about the origins and transmission of knowledge. It is in these silences, these half-remembered stories, that the mind is gently encouraged to wander, to consider whether humanity's story might have threads reaching beyond Earth itself. By reflecting on these lost civilizations, the listener is invited to enter a state of quiet curiosity. The ruins, the artifacts, and the mysteries they contain are not simply historical records. They are whispers from the past, soft and unobtrusive, yet persistent in their suggestion that our understanding of human history is still incomplete. It is a meditation on time, on the impermanence of human endeavor, and on the profound beauty of discovery. In the quiet spaces between what is known and what is lost, the mind can drift peacefully, absorbing the mystery of civilizations that have shaped the world yet remain tantalizingly out of reach, inviting contemplation of the grander mysteries of human origin itself. Throughout the vast expanse of time, Earth has been both a cradle and a battleground, shaped not only by human hands but by the immense, silent forces of the cosmos. From colossal asteroid impacts to solar storms and supernovae that illuminate distant corners of the universe, the history of our planet is written in both creation and destruction. These cosmic events, vast and indifferent, remind us of the fragile thread upon which life hangs. They are a contrast to human existence, our brief flicker of consciousness set against eons of celestial motion. Yet they have left subtle fingerprints that may have guided the course of life itself. The narrative of humanity, serene and quiet when viewed from within our daily lives, is deeply entwined with these extraordinary cosmic rhythms, which unfold with both violent intensity and almost meditative inevitability. Asteroids, for instance, have struck Earth repeatedly, reshaping continents, altering climates, and, at times, wiping out entire species. The impact that ended the reign of the dinosaurs 66 million years ago is a well-known example. Yet countless smaller events, less dramatic but still transformative, have punctuated the history of life. Each collision is both an act of destruction and a catalyst for evolution, creating openings for new forms of life to emerge. In contemplating these events, listeners are invited to feel the delicate balance between catastrophe and opportunity, the gentle push and pull of cosmic forces that have guided the trajectory of living beings. The Earth itself is a witness to these events, carrying in its layers of rock and soil a quiet record of the universe's immense power. Solar phenomena, too, have left their mark on life. Powerful solar flares, geomagnetic storms, and variations in the sun's energy output have influenced climates and ecosystems throughout history. While these changes often occur gradually, their cumulative effects can be dramatic, shaping migration patterns, agricultural cycles, and even the rise and fall of civilizations. In imagining these invisible forces at work, the listener drifts into a sense of awe at the unseen cosmic currents that have subtly nudged humanity's path. The narrative emphasizes the calm inevitability of these processes, portraying the universe as a vast, interconnected system where even seemingly random events may carry meaning in the grand tapestry of existence. Supernovae, the explosive deaths of distant stars, provide another perspective on cosmic influence. These events release elements essential for life, scattering them across the galaxy, where they eventually find their way into planets, oceans, and living cells. In this sense, every atom in the human body has, at some point, been part of a stellar explosion, connecting us intimately to the cosmos. The narrative gently contrasts this profound connection with the apparent randomness of cosmic destruction, creating a reflective space for the listener to consider both the beauty and fragility of life. Humanity, in its quiet, deliberate existence, is a product of both gentle growth and violent upheaval, a balance that resonates with the rhythms of the universe itself. Some theorists suggest that such events might have influenced human evolution in subtle ways. Rapid environmental changes following asteroid impacts or shifts in climate due to solar variations could have accelerated adaptation, fostering intelligence, creativity, or resilience in our ancestors. While these ideas remain speculative, they invite the mind to consider that human history is not only the result of culture and biology, but also of a universe alive with movement, energy, and occasional violence. By weaving together these cosmic threads, the listener is encouraged to contemplate the profound interconnectedness of existence, a delicate web stretching from the atomic to the celestial. The quiet reflection of this section is not meant to frighten, but to inspire awe. It frames humanity within the larger story of the cosmos, highlighting both the vulnerability and resilience of life. As the narrative draws to a close, the listener is prepared to transition from the cosmic forces that shape life to the philosophical and existential questions that arise from contemplating our place in the universe. In the stillness that follows these contemplations, the mind is invited to wander, to imagine the countless ways the universe has touched our story, and to feel a deep sense of connection to the stars from which we have emerged. Humanity has always gazed upward, drawn to the stars not only for navigation and curiosity, but as a mirror reflecting our deepest questions. If, for a moment, we consider the possibility that our origins lie not on Earth, but somewhere among the cosmos, a subtle shift occurs in the way we perceive ourselves. Suddenly, the familiar landscapes of rivers, mountains, and forests are no longer the only cradle of human life. There is a quiet tension between the comfort of earthly origin and the awe-inspiring, sometimes unsettling, thought that we may be cosmic wanderers. In this space, the mind can drift gently between wonder and introspection, contemplating the vastness of time, space, and possibility. Philosophers and thinkers across centuries have approached the question of human existence with both reverence and curiosity. Ancient contemplations often framed humanity as a bridge between the known and the unknown, a being capable of reason and imagination, yet forever humbled by the immensity of the heavens. Modern reflections continue this tradition, exploring not only the scientific mysteries of our origin, but the existential implications of being connected to a universe far older and larger than ourselves. By contrasting our everyday experience with a cosmic scale, listeners are invited into a meditative space where small details of life, our heartbeat, breath, and thought, intertwine with the silent dance of stars and galaxies. The notion that humans might not be entirely of Earth also provokes questions of identity and belonging. What does it mean to feel at home in a world that may not be our birthplace? Could there be a hidden lineage, a thread of ancestry stretching across planets, stars, or even galaxies? In the stillness of contemplation, these ideas are neither frightening nor absurd. They are simply possibilities, whispers of curiosity that invite the mind to wander freely. The quiet framing allows the listener to explore these questions gently, imagining existence beyond familiar horizons without pressure or urgency. At the heart of these reflections lies the contrast between knowledge and mystery. Science provides evidence, fossils, genetic codes, and cosmic patterns, yet there remain vast gaps in understanding, spaces where imagination and philosophy take over. These gaps are not failures, but invitations, gentle openings into wonder, contemplation, and the acknowledgement of something larger than ourselves. Humanity, in its search for meaning, stands poised at the boundary between certainty and the unknown, its curiosity both a guide and a companion. The narrative encourages the mind to move fluidly along this boundary, savoring the subtle tension between what is known and what might forever remain beyond reach. As the mind drifts through these philosophical horizons, connections to culture, history, and myth become softly apparent. Ancient stories of gods descending from the sky, celestial journeys, and lost civilizations can be revisited with new awareness, as though humanity has always intuited its cosmic potential. These myths, seen through the lens of possibility, gain a quiet, almost meditative resonance. They become not literal history, but symbolic whispers, reminders of our ongoing dialogue with the universe and our own origins. In this gentle framing, the listener is invited to linger in thought, appreciating the profound beauty of human curiosity, imagination, and introspection. Ultimately, this section is a bridge between the cosmic and the intimate. It asks the listener to reflect on life, mortality, and the vast web of existence in which we are embedded. Humanity may be small, ephemeral, and fragile, yet it is also capable of deep wonder, contemplation, and connection to forces and histories far beyond the visible world. The gentle cadence of this narrative encourages quiet meditation on these ideas, cultivating a sense of serenity while maintaining curiosity. In the stillness that follows, the mind can float between stars, ancient ruins, and the possibility of worlds beyond our own, preparing seamlessly for the exploration of culture, imagination, and the human spirit in the sections that follow. Humanity has always turned its gaze toward the heavens, not only for guidance or sustenance, but as a canvas for imagination and creativity. The stars, with their quiet brilliance, have inspired stories, art, and rituals that span millennia. They become mirrors in which humans glimpse possibilities beyond their daily existence, a reminder that the universe is vast, silent, and infinitely mysterious. In every culture, from the earliest civilizations to modern societies, celestial phenomena have shaped the way people think, dream, and create. Observatories, star charts, and temples align not merely for practical reasons, but also as expressions of wonder and reverence, gentle bridges between the known and the unknowable. Ancient peoples looked up at the night sky and wove its patterns into the fabric of their lives. Constellations became stories of gods, heroes, and creatures, each narrative reflecting not just imagination, but a yearning to understand humanity's place in the cosmos. In the calm of contemplation, these myths take on a meditative quality, connecting listeners to the rhythm of human thought across time. The beauty lies not in literal truth, but in the resonance of these stories, the way they stir curiosity, awe, and a sense of belonging to something larger than oneself. Through this lens, culture becomes an extension of cosmic reflection, a quiet dialogue between humans and the universe. Art and architecture further amplify this connection. From the intricate carvings of ancient temples to celestial motifs in mosaics, murals, and pottery, humans have long embedded the cosmos into tangible forms. These creations, often aligned with astronomical events, reveal a sophisticated awareness of patterns, cycles, and time. They speak not only of technical skill, but of a desire to harmonize human life with the rhythms of the heavens. Listeners are encouraged to drift through these cultural echoes, sensing the calm deliberation and reverence encoded in each artifact. The imagination, cultivated in these silent, ancient spaces, becomes a thread linking the distant past to the present, connecting humanity across centuries through wonder and reflection. Music, too, has mirrored celestial inspiration. Ancient chants, songs, and instruments often mimic the patterns of the sky, the rising and setting of the sun, the phases of the moon, the movement of stars. Even in modern compositions, references to the cosmos continue to evoke mystery, tranquility, and the sublime. The gentle ebb and flow of music, like the cosmos itself, invites reflection, contemplation, and a serene immersion in thought. It becomes a medium through which humans process awe, imagine other worlds, and explore the delicate tension between the familiar and the unknown. Literature, from poetry to epic narratives, frequently explores humanity's connection to the stars. Writers and thinkers have long imagined distant worlds, alternative origins, and cosmic journeys, blending fact and speculation with lyrical introspection. These stories offer more than entertainment. They provide a mental space for the listener to wander, to explore what-if scenarios gently and without urgency. Through these imaginative explorations, culture becomes a vessel for humanity's deepest curiosities, a quiet meditation on possibilities both real and imagined. In the quiet intersection of myth, art, music, and literature, one senses a universal yearning, the desire to understand existence, to trace our origins, and to connect with forces beyond our comprehension. By examining these cultural expressions, listeners are invited to see humanity not only as a product of Earth, but as a species deeply attuned to the cosmos, whether through imagination, ritual, or reflection. The night sky becomes a shared canvas for human thought, each culture contributing brushstrokes of creativity, curiosity, and wonder. In this section, the mind drifts calmly between worlds, finding serenity in the enduring human impulse to look upward, to dream, and to place oneself gently among the stars. Ultimately, the exploration of culture and imagination reveals that the cosmos is as much within us as it is around us. Human creativity, shaped by the silent majesty of the stars, serves as a reminder of our capacity for awe, reflection, and connection across time and space. The listener is left with a serene awareness that, even in the absence of definitive answers about our origins, our stories, art, and imagination reflect a quiet, enduring relationship with the universe. It is this sense of wonder, gently woven into the fabric of daily life, that allows the mind to float peacefully between history, mystery, and cosmic possibility. In the quiet expanse of human imagination, modern science and science fiction often intersect, creating a gentle bridge between what might be possible and what we dream. Contemporary speculation about humanity's origins extends far beyond ancient myths and historical mysteries, exploring ideas that seem fantastical yet are rooted in the curiosity that has always driven us. From theories of directed panspermia, where life might have been intentionally seeded on Earth, to the possibility of interstellar ancestry, the modern mind entertains these scenarios with a delicate balance of wonder and reasoning. Unlike the urgent excitement of sensational speculation, this reflection moves at a calm pace, allowing the listener to drift through each possibility with serene curiosity. Science fiction, in particular, has long explored the question of where humanity truly comes from. Stories of advanced civilizations planting life across galaxies, travelers from distant worlds, and cosmic legacies of forgotten ancestors offer a space in which imagination and inquiry coexist. These narratives, when approached gently, become more than entertainment. They are a meditation on identity, belonging, and the profound mysteries of existence. In considering such possibilities, the mind is invited to float in the space between plausibility and fantasy, where the boundaries of reality expand just enough to allow wonder to take root without anxiety. Even within serious scientific discourse, questions arise that challenge conventional assumptions. Could certain leaps in human intelligence, rapid migrations, or unexplained genetic markers hint at influences beyond Earth? While these ideas remain speculative and often unprovable, they open a door to contemplative thought, encouraging reflection on the subtle ways the universe may have shaped life on our planet. The calm, meditative tone of this section emphasizes exploration rather than conclusion, creating a space where curiosity can roam freely without the pressure of answers. Each concept is presented like a faint trail of starlight, gentle and persistent, guiding the listener through an expansive landscape of possibilities. Philosophers, futurists, and astrobiologists have joined the conversation, blending imagination with careful reasoning. Discussions range from the theoretical feasibility of life transfer between planets to the philosophical implications of discovering evidence that humanity might be part of a larger cosmic experiment. These ideas provoke thought without demanding belief, encouraging the mind to linger on the edges of what we know and what could be. The narrative gently contrasts the comforting structure of scientific knowledge with the allure of the unknown, reminding the listener that some mysteries may never be fully resolved, yet remain endlessly inspiring. Cultural reflections on these speculations are equally captivating. Humanity's fascination with extraterrestrial life, ancient astronauts, and cosmic ancestry is reflected in films, literature, and art, revealing a deep-seated curiosity about our place in the universe. From cinematic depictions of alien civilizations to novels imagining humanity's origins among the stars, these creative expressions extend the quiet dialogue between science and imagination. In this context, speculation becomes not a distraction, but a means of exploring identity and perspective, an invitation to contemplate the subtle threads that might connect us to the cosmos. Even the act of pondering modern speculation carries its own quiet beauty. In imagining possibilities beyond our current understanding, the mind is gently freed from the constraints of daily life. Listeners are encouraged to picture distant worlds, ancient journeys across the stars, or life seated in ways that defy easy comprehension. These images, soft and unhurried, create a meditative rhythm that aligns perfectly with the sleep-friendly, reflective tone of the documentary. The emphasis is on the serenity of curiosity itself, the ability to explore, wonder, and drift through the cosmos without urgency or anxiety. Ultimately, the modern speculations explored in this section reinforce a timeless truth. Humanity's curiosity about its origin is both ancient and evolving. The same questions that inspired myths, rituals, and art now echo in scientific inquiry, philosophical reflection, and imaginative storytelling. By gently blending these threads, the listener is invited to appreciate the enduring mystery of existence, to feel the quiet thrill of possibility, and to rest in the awareness that the universe is vast, alive with potential, and intimately connected to the human story. In this calm space between fact and imagination, the mind floats easily, ready to transition into reflections on the unresolved mysteries that persist and the silent beauty of questions without answers. Even after centuries of exploration, inquiry, and imagination, the origins of humanity remain one of the most profound mysteries of all. The evidence we have, from fossils and ancient artifacts to cosmic phenomena and genetic markers, provides glimpses into the past, yet these glimpses are always partial, fragmentary, and tantalizingly incomplete. The unknown persists like a quiet night sky, stretching endlessly beyond the limits of understanding, inviting contemplation rather than demanding answers. In this gentle reflection, the focus is not on solving the mystery, but on embracing it, allowing the mind to drift comfortably amid unanswered questions and the vast possibilities they suggest. The contrast between what is known and what remains unknown creates a subtle tension that is deeply compelling. On one hand, science has illuminated incredible truths: the migration of early humans, the development of intelligence, and the astonishing complexity of DNA. On the other, there are gaps, anomalies in human evolution, sudden appearances of cultural sophistication, and unexplained artifacts that refuse to fit neatly into conventional narratives. These gaps are not obstacles but openings, spaces in which the imagination can wander, gently exploring the edges of what might be. Listeners are invited to linger in this space, feeling the calm intrigue that comes with accepting uncertainty as a companion rather than a void. Ancient structures and long-lost civilizations continue to whisper across time, their remnants hinting at knowledge or experiences that have been partially erased. From the silent stones of Göbekli Tepe to the colossal heads of the Olmecs, each artifact stands as both a testament to human ingenuity and a reminder of what has been lost. The stillness of these relics evokes a quiet meditation on the fleeting nature of human achievement and the enduring enigma of the past. Even as modern science provides tools to decode and analyze, some aspects remain irretrievably mysterious, allowing the listener to drift into a gentle awareness that the story of humanity is never fully knowable. Cosmic phenomena, too, contribute to this sense of enduring mystery. The universe is vast, silent, and indifferent, yet intimately connected to life on Earth. Stars are born and die, comets travel through empty space, and elements essential for life are scattered across galaxies. Humanity exists in the delicate balance of these forces, a small, conscious presence amid a cosmos that is both magnificent and unknowable. The quiet reflection on this contrast between human awareness and cosmic indifference creates a meditative rhythm, inviting the mind to contemplate the delicate threads that connect life to the wider universe without fear or urgency. Philosophical perspectives deepen this reflection. The idea that some mysteries may never be solved is not a source of frustration, but a profound opportunity for contemplation. In accepting uncertainty, humans find space for humility, wonder, and quiet introspection. The unknown becomes a companion, a guide through the narrative of existence, encouraging mindfulness and appreciation of the present moment. Listeners are gently led to understand that the search for origins, whether terrestrial or cosmic, is as much about the journey of thought and imagination as it is about definitive answers. In this calm, meditative state, the mysteries of the past, the enigmas of human development, and the vast unknowns of the universe converge. The mind is invited to float between the fragments of knowledge and the expansive silence of unanswered questions. There is a serene beauty in this interplay, a quiet recognition that mystery itself can be a source of wonder, reflection, and even comfort. The persistence of the unknown becomes a soft lullaby, a reminder that the universe is vast, life is precious, and the story of humanity is a continuous, unfolding exploration rather than a closed chapter. By the end of this reflection, the listener is poised for a gentle conclusion, one that celebrates curiosity, connection, and the quiet majesty of existence. The mystery persists, not as an absence, but as a presence, an invitation to drift calmly among the stars, to imagine, and to rest in the awe of possibilities. In this serene awareness, the boundaries between the known and unknown, the past and the future, the earth and the cosmos, dissolve into a meditative space, preparing the mind to settle into the final reflections of humanity's place among the stars. As we reach the quiet conclusion of this journey, the mind is invited to linger in a space between wonder and serenity, between what is known and what remains forever elusive. Humanity, in all its briefness and complexity, exists as a delicate thread within the vast, silent fabric of the universe. The stars, distant and luminous, have always been companions to our curiosity, reflecting our longing to understand not only where we are, but who we are. Perhaps, in contemplating the possibility that our origins may lie beyond Earth, we find not fear, but a profound sense of connection, a reminder that life, intelligence, and consciousness are threads woven into a cosmos older, grander, and more mysterious than any single story could capture. The gentle whisper of ancient myths, the silent testimony of forgotten civilizations, and the faint traces of cosmic influence all converge in this reflective moment. Each fragment of human history, from a meticulous planning of Indus Valley cities to the enigmatic sculptures of the Olmecs, serves as both evidence of ingenuity and a mirror of enduring mystery. These remnants invite the mind to float calmly through time, bridging eras and continents with quiet contemplation. Even in the absence of complete answers, there's a serene beauty in the fragments themselves, a reminder that knowledge is not always a destination, but a journey threaded with questions, imagination, and possibility. Our genetic heritage, too, carries a subtle yet profound reminder of our connection to the cosmos. Every atom within our bodies may once have been forged in the heart of a dying star, scattered across galaxies, and ultimately gathered here on this pale blue dot. This quiet realization frames humanity as both fragile and extraordinary, a living testament to the intricate, patient unfolding of cosmic history. It encourages reflection on the delicate balance that allows life to exist at all, the improbable convergence of matter, energy, and circumstance that makes each breath, each heartbeat, and each thought possible. In this gentle awareness, the listener is drawn into a meditative sense of gratitude and wonder, feeling the quiet resonance of being intimately linked to the cosmos. In contemplating the possibility that humanity's origins might extend beyond Earth, we are invited to imagine worlds we have never seen, civilizations we may never know, and journeys across space that defy comprehension. This is not an exercise in certainty, but in the calm expansion of the mind, a soft invitation to ponder what might lie beyond the horizon of understanding. Through the lens of possibility, every star becomes a story, every comet a messenger, and every unexplained artifact a whisper from the past. The unknown is not a threat. It is a companion, a subtle and enduring presence that encourages curiosity, reflection, and peace. Culture and imagination, intertwined with these reflections, illuminate the human capacity to seek connection with the greater universe. Ancient stories, celestial myths, music, literature, and art are all expressions of this deep yearning. They reveal that humans have always been dreamers, observers, and explorers, not only of Earth but of the mind, the spirit, and the stars above. In revisiting these cultural echoes, the listener is invited to float gently through shared human experience, sensing the continuity of wonder across time and space. There is a soothing rhythm in this reflection, as imagination and reality weave together into a calm, contemplative tapestry. The cosmos itself offers both scale and perspective. Planets orbit stars with quiet precision, galaxies swirl in grand spirals, and nebulae bloom with the delicate colors of creation. In this immensity, humanity occupies a humble yet extraordinary position. By embracing the possibility that our beginnings may be part of a cosmic story, we deepen our understanding of existence without diminishing our sense of value. Each life, each thought, and each quiet act of curiosity becomes part of a greater whole, a subtle echo of the universal dance that continues far beyond the reach of human sight or comprehension. As this reflection draws toward its gentle close, the contrasts explored throughout the documentary, known and unknown, Earth and cosmos, past and future, light and shadow, coalesce into a serene meditation. Humanity's story, whether entirely of this world or partially written among the stars, is a tapestry of mystery, discovery, and imagination. In this meditative space, the listener can feel the quiet continuity of existence, the beauty of unanswered questions, and the profound awe that comes from contemplating the universe. It is a moment to rest, to breathe, and to allow the mind to drift freely among ideas, images, and possibilities that have unfolded across the course of the documentary. Ultimately, the invitation is simple: to embrace wonder, to cherish curiosity, and to rest in the knowledge that life is part of a vast, interconnected, and endlessly mysterious cosmos. Whether we originated on Earth, among the stars, or somewhere in between, the story of humanity is a continuing journey, one that encourages reflection, imagination, and a gentle awe of existence itself. The listener, now immersed in this quiet awareness, is left with a profound sense of calm, a lingering sense of connection to the cosmos, and the serene understanding that the mystery of our origin, far from being a void, is a companion for contemplation and quiet dreaming.